Hello, everybody. It's Holger Mueller from Constellation Research talking about what happened on Tuesday, October 10th at Oracle OpenWorld. Trust now in my Snowflake microphone with music blaring here, but two tests successfully have shown that it was a busy day over here. I'm now sitting on Howard Street. Quick turnaround, and I'm really on Howard Street here. Big day here with double keynotes in the sense that Steve Donatella he opened more for the business executive, but then one of the key keynotes with Thomas Kurian going through tons and tons and tons of video stuff. And then the afternoon we had Larry Ellison again talking about, well, I'll talk about when I get to it. But quickly, what was the key takeaways from that, right? Donatelli used his previously known 6 journeys to the cloud story, walking the audience of OpenWorld through them, which is probably a fair enough assessment because it was new for most people, not new for us analysts necessarily, and as well scenarios showing customers how they can go to the cloud, right? The first journey is in your data center, optimize for on-premises and move to the Oracle public cloud. The second one is about staying on your data center, use cloud at customer, Oracle's managed service based on premise, and then move to the public cloud. Third journey is stay in your data center and move to a more improved workloads by moving to the Oracle cloud. The fourth one is from your data center, create new capabilities of IaaS and PaaS, new next generation applications, a scenario very close and near to my heart. The fifth one is, as you move from on-premises, transform everything by moving on-premise applications to SaaS. We'll talk about future of work, HCM there. Or if you're a prospect not using Oracle already, become a born in the cloud scenario. I think it was well received, not too many news really. The new part I really picked up was that Donatelli talked about how Oracle can run VMware loads, which is something which is working really successfully for IBM, who started doing this first. And then, of course, there's a big partnership between VMware and AWS later this year. So good to see that customers have even more choice moving things to the Oracle cloud. Then it was really back to Thomas Kurian, and he, like always, talks about 4 layers of SaaS, not just infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, and software as a service SaaS, but there's always a data as a service component, right? And he also looked back at what he promised originally, saying that all that will be used today would be a mobile platform or browser-based device, as we're moving to something managed as infrastructure as a code, which is the right way how to manage infrastructure today. Everything had like 4 different areas on infrastructure as a service. Thomas talked about 5 blazingly fast ones. The one which stuck with me the most, he claimed that the fastest compute is out there with a 52-core system, which runs, well, according to Oracle, blazingly fast to run VMs or Docker-based containers. He also claimed the fastest network, 100 gigabits per second network on a 25 gigabit Ethernet back at the host. That is a new record as far as I can say, but I'm the network guy, my perspective. And then, of course, Oracle acquired DIN, and Oracle is maintaining that this is the industry-leading global DNS service, definitely owned by an IaaS provider. No surprise, everybody's showing off dashboards. Kurian then showed off the new dashboard of Oracle's IaaS service, which looks pretty good for overall standards and Oracle standards. And then we provisioned in the Oracle Event Hub for the first time capabilities like a Docker container and other elements. So good to see that so easy to deploy that. And then very interesting deployment of Oracle compute capabilities, running a TensorFlow model, a Google TensorFlow model, showed up probably multiple times in the keynote of Kurian, which leads me potentially to the most use-perfect perspective of thinking that I was mostly impressed by Kurian really understanding the impact of artificial intelligence on enterprise automation applications, right? We have Larry talking about this on Sunday already, but really saying that voice is the new UI. You have to bring all the data together to build machine learning neural networks. That was the most understood publicly keynote that I've seen, so encouraging for Oracle customers. Of course, data management as a service, a new capability also in the PaaS layer. Interesting as SAP, competitor of Oracle, just announced their SAP data service last week. So capability which can run autonomously query loads across not only the Oracle data warehouse, but all kinds of OTPs, MySQL with open source, key value-based combinations, and document and graph DBs. And then CI/CD capability to deliver through Git with modern build tools, CI/CD, using Jira, using Jenkins, all the way to the deployment part. The interesting thing is, of course, that the same upstream technology can be used to not just deploy to Oracle, but go to Kubernetes or to Docker containers. So interesting for developers. And the big announcement there was Oracle finally, one might say, getting into serverless, using Docker as a runtime, but then different deployment operations for becoming serverless. And last but not least, the whole AI machine learning piece on the PaaS side, very interesting capabilities in regards of automating the deep learning. The question, of course, is which deep learning network it will be. It sounds like Oracle is using bring your own deep learning network, talking about Caffe, which was mentioned, and of course TensorFlow. So interesting perspective from that part, and lots of progress on the PaaS layer. New deployment capabilities, for instance, Node.js with MySQL. So that's interesting that Oracle was already for that. Then, of course, if you do data management, you cannot stop. New Oracle Cloud data prep capabilities were talked through, how you can go from all kinds of information through entity extraction, cleansing, enrichment, blending, all the way to a process which can be in data scientists or used for artificial intelligence or machine learning. And no surprise, data prep feature totally. Very interesting also to see a social data stream analysis in Oracle Social tool. A very interesting dashboard. Overall, what was nice in Korean scheme, there was an umbrella demo story which was introduced for videos the whole time around sports and sports fans. Buying merchandise as an example, buying tickets as an example, and we saw how the backend side could be supported for that fan, for that customer experience. So overall, well done. Then, of course, Korean at some point got to artificial intelligence software as a service, enabling that with adaptive intelligence applications. Very good presentation from that perspective too. For instance, looking at the audience screening capabilities to allow instant rebates and see what the audience is really talking about. Then last major announcement on the PaaS layer, actually not much, there's more coming. Blockchain software as a service. Oracle has joined Hyperledger, and with that, the foundation of that, very important for that to understand. Oracle was behind on blockchain from that perspective. Good for Oracle customers to see Oracle realize that. And then another gap being filled with IoT. IoT, of course, as a service coming to help automate supply chain. Also with an interesting automation example with digital twin in the factory, easy flow-based configuration setup of relevant pieces, integrate them to manufacturing. So overall, very good keynote, I would say, from Korean, talking about the SAF perspectives, of course, too. Showed the new UI, the new adaptive UI. Oracle still isn't there, like no other vendor, to have progressive disclosure run out of the logs. I would love to have seen that happening. That didn't happen. And then the afternoon, it was all about Larry, and no big surprise, Larry is all about cybersecurity, as you mentioned already on Sunday, announcing Oracle Management and Security Cloud, which basically is the monitoring of cyber threats and then the capability of managing that. So some key takeaways in that is that it is open and will take third-party elements for that. Other customers can declare their own pieces. The slide was too full to show what Oracle plans to support out of the box for log crunching. The third thing which was interesting on that was that Oracle will allow automation components for that, of course, not only on the Oracle database, but on the broader part. I actually showed the demo of that. It's always good to sign when Oracle shows demo. That means things have matured to a certain point. But the ultimate test of Oracle's goes to breakthroughs when Oracle will talk about what it will cost. And Larry didn't talk about what Oracle cybersecurity will cost. So we will see for that coming, and also indication the product is not fully ready there where it should be, where it could be. But good to see that the demo was there, which is positive from that perspective. And what we basically witnessed was, in my view, probably the biggest upsell that Oracle has ever done to its own product suite. All the major upsell, big ticket items which generate a lot of cost for customers, hopefully also benefits and revenue for Oracle, like real application clusters, very interesting, but not everybody needs that. Think of Golden Gate as an example, interesting too, but not everybody needs that. But security on the production database with perfect timing in the sense that today the former Equifax CEO is being grilled in front of Congress, being all on the news, being on TV this morning, is definitely a perfect time to pitch a cybersecurity offering, which if Oracle gets it right, gets it working, does what it promised to deliver, prices is right, lots of ifs, I realize that, is probably the most successful upsell or cross-sell that Oracle can have for the Oracle database in production. All right, that's it. The music is getting louder and louder. Next up is the Oracle and NetSuite Suite Connect party here on Howard Street. Getting too loud for me. Way too long, but a lot happened today, Tuesday, October 3rd at OpenWorld. Tons of stuff in the keynote of Thomas Kurian. Look at my Storyfy tweet connection for a lot of information on that. Same thing the Donatelli keynote is covered, as well as the Larry keynote of the afternoon. So I'm the only one from Constellation here. Follow what my colleague Cindy Zhu is writing about sales and marketing. Follow her at Cindy_Shu, that is ZHOU. My colleague Doug Henshin is out there looking at data to decision. He's on Twitter at dhenshin, HDN_SCHEN. And of course, Ray is here, R100, RWANG0. And follow me, Holger MU, HOLGMU from Constellation Research. Thanks for watching. Have a great OpenWorld, and if you have any questions, feel free to call and follow me on Twitter. Thanks. Bye-bye.